Hey everyone, and welcome back to 360 Sports. We have a very special episode today. We're talking all things F1. I'm your host, Marina, and I'm here with Riley, Steven, and Jason. Guys, how we doing? Ready?
Great.
Incredible.
All right, let's get straight into our headlines for the day. Alpine driver Pierre Gasly just became co-owner of this French football team, FC Versailles.
There you
What do you
go.
guys think?
Looks like he's
Cool
trying.
stuff.
He's
Kind of
signing
a
the
scary
Treaty of
look on
Versailles.
his face when he's signing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that
Yeah.
face is a little scary.
You know what? The first thing that came to
eyes.
mind was the celebrity investments in F1 last year with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes investing in Alpine, his team. So I feel like he's just taking a page out of their own play.
I mean, you know, this is becoming more and more popular to see athletes investing into other sports and stuff like that, and of course actors too. You see Ryan Reynolds with Wrexham, which has been a pretty successful football club, I might say myself. But yeah, I mean, we just have a bunch of athletes just investing in other sports, so it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, that was a quick one, but let's go into all things FIA. The FIA investigation into FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem has reached a conclusion. He was under investigation for interfering in the 2023 Jeddah Grand Prix race result. Of course, that they had all those penalties, if you can remember, and the Vegas GP circuit certification, which I think is slightly more.
It's something.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But they concluded that there was no wrongdoing. You guys agree with the decision?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was the FIA investigating themselves. So
Literally.
it's not like they're going to say, oh, we're going to punish ourselves. No.
Unless you're Red Bull.
But Red Bull didn't punish themselves, did they? Because Christian Horner is still there.
No, well, they
Yeah.
punished the employee, though.
They did punish the employee, and we talked about
the employee's gone.
earlier this week. But
Wow.
yeah, she's gone.
Yeah.
The FIA, they just have so many things going on. They also have the they're being sued by Felipe Massa
There you
over
go.
the 2008, I want to say, championship.
Yep.
And all of the Crashgate stuff. So they have a lot going on. They also have an official complaint lodged against them in French courts by Susie Wolff. She had that whole investigation and things going on last year when she was accused of having, how do you want to put this?
Secret
Secret
Exchange.
sharing with her
Yeah.
husband Toto Wolff. She's not too happy about it. What do you guys
I
think?
wouldn't be. Don't
Yeah.
come for my girl Susie like that. Not cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Free
it's
her.
understandable why they did it. I mean, they work for the same company, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? In different departments. So it's kind of like, I understand it. It's the same way at my dad's work, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a spouse work in the same place you do just for that reason.
What do you think about the timing of the criminal complaint, though?
The timing is a bit odd, I will say that. Just because I just don't know why she waited so long, honestly.
Well, she also said, I feel more than ever that it's important to stand up and call out improper behavior and make sure that people are held accountable. While so many think silence absolves them from responsibility, it does not. Do you think that was a jab at Christian Horner? Because I think it was.
It could be low-key.
Yeah, I think right now is the right time to hit hard. Like, the FIA are getting hit
Yeah.
on so many different things right now, like Felipe Massa and the whole Christian Horner debacle. But now Susie Wolff is probably like, oh, this is my time to strike. Like,
This is my time
we
to
gotta go
shine.
in now,
My
get them while
turn.
they're down.
My turn, 100%. I'm so with her. I think that she's a boss woman. And she's running F1 Academy, and she's doing so much. So I think, although the timing of the complaint, I will say, to me, really screams, and I'm wearing a Red Bull shirt, so I can't really be talking, but it really screams like, I'm doing this. Yes, the FIA is under attack right now, but also Christian Horner supposedly did all these things,
Yeah.
or all these allegations, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we need
well-
to do something to change it. I
Yeah,
think as a woman,
well,
I think she
the
felt
last
empowered.
time we saw a woman, I'm not going to say that in particular, but the last time we saw something like this happen, we all know what happened. The girl was let go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not
True.
saying this will happen to her, but I'm just saying,
I don't
like,
think so.
I don't know.
I think they would get so much backlash if they let Susie
No,
Wolff
yeah,
go.
I'm sure.
I think it's a little different too because that employee is still nameless. We
True.
don't know who she was, and we don't know what her job was inside the team. For all we know, she could have been like a janitor or something.
It's true.
Not that she is, but she could be. And
that's
Susie Wolff, like I said, she's running F1 Academy, so she's so vital, and they're pushing F1 Academy so hard. It's now streaming everywhere,
Yeah.
all on YouTube for all the races. So
And she's a very notable name,
Yeah.
especially like a woman's name in
Yeah.
F1. When I
Yeah.
think of one, I think of Susie Wolff.
she also raced herself. and she's married to a very, very powerful person. So I definitely think there'd be a
all-powerful
lot of
Crystal
backlash
Wolf.
if the same kind of turn of events happened as with the Red Bull point. Anyways, let's go into Jeddah. That was 2 weeks ago. It was the second F1 race of the year in Saudi Arabia. We're going to do a quick recap, F1 TV style. Jason, I've challenged Jason. You have 1 minute race recap.
All
Go
right,
for
so Tammy, go for it. After setting pole in Formula 2, Ali Bierman stepped in for Sainz, FP3, put it P11 qualifying, went P7 in the race, beat Lewis Hamilton to the line, like incredible performance. Alpine, major struggles, like they had the first retirement of the season, mechanical issues, terrible stuff. Norris looked like he jumped the start, but he got a free pass. It looks like the transponder in the car said that he didn't jump the spot, so no problems there. Lance Stroll crashed, but that's just Lance Stroll, sorry.
Yeah, that's just Lance Stroll, man.
And then Haas nailed the strategy this weekend. K-Mag pulled off an incredible defense against all the drivers behind him to allow his teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, to go P10, get first Haas points of the season. And finally, we had 2 lead changes. One, when Max lost the lead during the pit stops. Lando Norris led for a couple laps. Max said, that's enough fun, took the lead back.
That's enough excitement for the day.
And won the race, yeah. So that's a 1 minute recap.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed. That was very good, especially for like a first time on air F1 recap. I want to dig more deeper into the Ollie Behrman stuff. He was called up from F2. Nobody replaced him at Prima in F2 because of Carlos Sainz's appendicitis. That seems to be going around.
You know,
Something
last
like
time a driver had appendicitis with Alex Albon, that whole chain of events.
Yeah, it was like Nick DeVries
Yep.
comes in, then Nick DeVries gets a seat, then he's out, then here comes Daniel Ricciardo.
And he breaks
It's
something.
been a whole
Let's
change of
just-
events,
yeah.
but
Let's just hope that doesn't repeat itself.
yeah. Well, to be fair, I feel like that might just repeat itself naturally with all the driver changes we're looking to see this year
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
But Carlos is back. He was in the paddock in Jeddah, but he's also in the paddock now. But he was very clear. I'm going to go in for practice, and if I'm not feeling it, Ollie will race.
Yeah.
I would
Why
love
not?
to see Ollie in another race, one
Yeah.
that's not as hard as
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his
See
neck
how
will
he
be
does.
prepared this time.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I'm pretty excited that Ollie Bierman got a shot. Like, he's obviously so talented. There are just not enough seats on the F1
Yeah.
grid.
Yeah.
Kind of bums me out that Andretti couldn't enter a team because we need those seats. Like, Ollie Bierman, he's in.
Yeah.
And if he's not in a Haas next year, I don't know why not. Like, K-Mag, Hülkenberg, I thought they would be retired. They were retired, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also,
Haas things.
another Max win. That makes 9 in a row
What
this
else
weekend.
is
He's
new?
going for 10, which will equal his own record, and then he's probably going to go for
Hey,
11.
Sebastian Vettel has 9 too,
Oh, does he?
right?
He I think so. Yeah, it's his, like, Sebastian has
Ooh.
9. Is
This
the
would be
record
for the
9 or is
outline.
record
Yeah,
10?
the record's 9.
Is it
Oh.
9? I thought it was 10.
Well,
Either way,
this
Max
would have
has
been 10 in
has
Saudi,
some
right?
competition.
No, 9 in Saudi. 10
All
in
right, yeah,
Australia.
no, then it's 10 in Australia if you can do
Max
it.
has competition. Watch out.
I don't know, the
Does he
Ferraris
really,
have
though?
been very
No.
feisty this
No.
weekend, and I was watching some of the pre-race warm-ups. They seem to be very ready to
How about that
to take the
strategy,
fight to
though?
Red Bull. Well, they seem pretty good this year. I don't know. But let's go into some F1 records. Given that Max, like we said, is pretty much incapable of leaving records alone, last week in Jeddah, he broke yet another record. Youngest driver to achieve 100 podiums in his F1 career. We're going to take a look at some F1 records. Tell me which one you think is most likely not to be broken. We have Schumacher's 7 titles, and yes, it's Schumacher because he has 6. And Lewis Hamilton's 197 podium count.
Stats don't lie.
Which one's most unlikely to be broken?
I'm going to go with Lewis podium count, considering Lewis does have 7 titles.
According to the stats.
So, yeah,
We'll just write
it
Jason.
could be broken.
Lewis has 7 titles. He's going to be a Ferrari driver next year. So that means he's going to get 8 next year. So I think,
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Or
so
he's just
I
gonna
think
have
that would
7,
be
I
broken.
guess.
That would be like no problem.
You think he's going to get 8?
Well, yeah,
You
he's
think
going to
Ferrari's gonna
Ferrari.
win a
Well, next
championship?
year's our year, you know.
You are
That's how
so
it goes.
delusional. Ferrari fans are so delusional. They say it every year. You guys say it
mean,
every year.
they're Cowboys
Next year's our
fans.
year.
Yeah, it is.
They're Cowboys fans.
Watch.
Sadly.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Steven?
I don't think I'm going to go with titles, especially with Max Verstappen just existing. I think I definitely got to go with Lewis's podium count here. I mean, again, because Max Verstappen exists. So,
I agree. I think this is still an ongoing record, right? It's 197 and counting.
Yeah.
So he could still get more. He
true.
hasn't been on the podium in a hot minute, but I still think it's more beatable, or less beatable than
yeah.
So, all right, next one. Max, 19 wins in a season, or Ocon, 6 penalties, or I think it's 5 penalties in a race.
Well, these are both impressive for different reasons. I mean, honestly, I'm tempted to say Max wins in the season, not just because I think he'll win more and break his own record anyway, but I think also you have to look at, like, when will be the next time that we have 19 races in a season?
Well,
you know what I
we
mean?
have 24.
Well, that's my point. So it's like that record won't be
yeah.
broken again.
Oh, that's true.
I don't think it'll be that easy to just break that record,
No,
though.
no.
No,
But
100%.
can I also just say, I'm a heavy Ocon hater. I really dislike him. Just
Yeah.
like seeing him, his name, I dislike when he does anything well. So him getting 6 penalties is honestly like nice. It's like good for him.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, I
It's
just
very
So
entertaining.
you think, which one do you think is more
definitely
unbeatable?
Max.
Max is more unbeatable. Max is more unbeatable. Is that what I said?
Max is more unbeatable.
Yeah.
Max is more unbeatable?
Yeah.
I think Ocon's is more unbeatable, and I'll tell you why. Because this year Max is going to get at least 20 wins out of the 24.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm going to manifest otherwise and say actually Charles Leclerc will win every race
Ooh.
from this
From now
point
on?
on.
This year's our year.
This year is our year, and it will be happening.
I don't
Watch
agree,
out now.
But, okay. Moving on, Nico Hülkenberg, most Formula One starts without a podium, 205 and counting, and Lando, most podiums without a win.
Oh man, that
Which
Lando
one?
one just breaks my heart, man. As a McLaren fan, that just hurts to see. But I mean, I'll probably go with. I think I'll go with Nico Hülkenberg's. Honestly, more unbeatable.
More unbeatable?
Yeah.
I got to go with Lando because there are going to be, it's probably going to be like Sainz or like whoever the next, like once Bierman gets in the Ferrari, he's going to go so many podiums without a win because Max Verstappen.
What if Max Verstappen randomly drops out? Let's say he's not even in the
Just
equation
retires.
anymore. He's just gone.
Yeah.
He's had enough. Then what?
I don't know.
Insightful questions. Also, you know another thing that I hate in F1?
Nico Hülkenberg.
No, Haas.
Oh.
I
Oh.
hate Haas.
Yeah.
With
Haas
a
is a
passion.
placeholder team.
It
That's
is.
exactly. And so I hate when teams that I like are behind Haas, just because I hate Haas.
Yeah.
As in general,
Which
I
team
just
do
hate
you
them.
like that was behind, that's behind us?
Williams.
Oh.
I was like, wow, how could he do this?
You know, before this, to get myself kind of in the F1 mood for the weekend, I was listening to the Alex Albon Beyond the Grid podcast, and I'll just say, man is so sweet. He
I
seems
love
like
Alex
the
Albon.
nicest guy ever. Anyways, I think the Nico Hülkenberg one is more unbeatable, and I looked at it a little bit differently because these are both active, so he could
Yeah.
get more podiums and he could get more race starts. He will get more race starts.
Yeah.
So I think Lando's more likely to get a race win than Nico is to get a podium. So I think Nico's is more unbeatable.
Yeah.
All right,
I agree.
let's move on to don't name the same driver. We've seen this TikTok trend all over. Essentially, we're going to have a prompt, and you have to name a driver that falls under that prompt, but you can't name the one that's going to be on the screen. So you got to be very,
Niche.
very niche.
Obscure.
All right, let's go to the first one, see what it is. Name a F1 world champion since 2000. Steven,
Oh well, there's so many. I mean, I don't know. Fernando Alonso.
Button.
Sebastian Vettel.
Max. Let's see. You're out, Stephen. You
Wow.
can keep playing, but you unfortunately have lost the game.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, the chances of that happening are kind of crazy. If I'm
He only
thinking
won
about it.
2.
He only won 2.
Yeah.
Max has won 3. No one said Lewis. I think I was expecting Lewis to be
I
up
was
there.
expecting Lewis too.
Wait,
All
all
right.
how white his teeth look in that? Like, that's all
Does
I'm
that look
looking at.
fake
Man, it's
to
got-
you? It looks
they
like
could
He's
be
got
veneers.
veneers,
They could be.
100%.
They're whiter than the logos on his
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah, man.
That's really
It's like
big. I didn't
good for
notice
him.
teeth
that.
with the side of Fernando Alonso. Oh my god.
Hey, I mean,
Anyways.
veneers are becoming more and more popular. I will say that. Especially, I mean, even if you don't have bad teeth, like, I mean, people are just going for it.
They're just doing it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go
It was a little
to
off
the
topic.
next one. Name an F1 race winner since 2020.
Max Verstappen.
Carlos Sainz.
That's what I was gonna say.
Charles Leclerc.
Has Lewis won? Yeah, Lewis 2020.
Oh,
Oh.
Valtteri
None of us
Bottas.
out. I really like this game.
Another good one
That-
would be
So far.
Esteban Ocon.
Oh, he did. I was gonna say actually the one I thought of was also Pierre Gasly, Monza 2020.
Oh yeah.
I must point
very
out,
good
too, that
race.
is pre-bleach Valtteri Bottas right there.
Yes, because he now has the mullet. Did you
Yeah.
guys see the commercial?
Yeah,
Oh, I
that
love
is
the
an
Uber
awesome
Have you seen the
commercial.
commercial?
So funny.
Maybe.
The Uber, was it Uber cart?
Uber
Yeah,
car
Uber
share.
car share, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one where he was just like frolicking in like a wetsuit. Was
Yes,
that it?
Yes, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Valtteri is just full-time Australian now. It's awesome.
He is.
That's
He's
his job.
full-time Aussie. On the F1 pre-race show, they were talking about how if he like magically won this weekend, that I think they thought he would be an official Aussie citizen.
They should give, there's a few drivers that have like honorary citizenship.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Lewis,
Hamilton, yeah.
honorary Brazilian
Brazil.
citizen.
Yep, just
But-
honorary Australian citizen. Why not?
Well,
No.
Lewis actually does have a passport, though, Brazilian citizen.
Well, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
name an Australian F1 driver.
Ooh. Oscar Piastri.
Mark Webber.
Daniel Ricciardo.
God, I'm gonna have to go deep with this one.
Well, I mean, how many
What was that?
Australian F1 drivers are there?
69 was Brabham. Is he's Australian, right? Jack Brabham.
Alan Jones.
Alan
right?
Jones.
I was going to say
let's see.
Brabham. That's...
I had to go really deep. 1969.
Oh,
The girls win. You
I'm
take
out.
the cake.
Nice.
Wait, who'd
at
you
that.
choose?
Mark Webber.
Mark Webber.
That's him
Oh.
right there.
Yeah, I see. I didn't think
Have
about
you
that.
read his book? Anybody read his book?
I haven't.
Also
Is it
great.
good?
Oh, incredible! Like this guy, he trains harder. Like he's like a triathlete basically.
Hmm.
And then he broke his legs training. Got back in the car with like still his leg not
I
fully
remember
healed.
that.
Like he was insane.
He's
the
also training
dedication.
Oscar Piastri.
Oh wow!
Oh.
Oh, that's
he's,
awesome.
He's Oscar's manager, actually, not
Yeah,
trainer, but
very cool.
manager.
Very cool.
He's always in the paddock. I saw him in Jeddah. It was cool.
The Australians sticking together.
All right, disasters and triumphs. Well, Australian GP is right around the corner. We'll take a look back at some of the disasters and triumphs of the previous Australian GPs. First one, Gutierrez and Alonso crash in 2016.
What a crash this was. My goodness.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
This was such a disaster.
I
Yeah,
mean,
right into
for
This
lack
is
of
one of the
better
more
word.
remarkable crashes we've seen F1, and for him to just walk out, and
He walked right out of
and
this
I
crash.
love his interview too. Afterwards, he was like, "Oh, you know, I gotta get out. I saw space, and get out of the car. I know my mom's watching. I need to tell her that I'm okay." I'm like, oh my
This
gosh.
was, it's just incredible that they both walked out so.
Yeah.
And this
Like,
was like pre-Halo.
Yeah.
Which is
for
insane.
Halo,
Well, the
which is
thing I
incredible.
was thinking too.
That tire, if he would have came up, hit him in the
Oh
face.
yeah.
like, that
I
would've
mean,
been
terrible.
It was well. This is how you know it was 2016 because the quality of the camera
Yeah.
is
Well, so
not as good as it
something
is.
I kind of noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed this. It didn't look like they had like the stoplights back then on the back of the cars, because when you
mean
look
like,
at it,
oh, the red light on the back.
yeah,
Oh.
Esteban,
the recharge lights.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, because it looks like he slows down a ton,
good
and you
point.
don't see the light go on. So I think that's what tripped Fernando
Whoa.
Alonso up. I think because I think he was trying to clear him, and the other guy, Esteban, is that his name, right? Am I
Yeah,
crazy?
Esteban
Okay, yeah.
Gutierrez.
Yeah, so look, he going up and he just slows down a ton. I think in normal F1, you would see the light go on right about here. But
Maybe.
no, Fernando, he tries to clear him and he doesn't expect him to brake that fast, and next thing you know, he's doing tumbles.
no, they have it in the crash structure down on the bottom. It just, it didn't. You saw it blinking on there. Now
yeah,
it blinks.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not as
honestly,
noticeable.
I think
It
at
looks
the end
like
of the
at
day,
least.
it's just one of those things. It's like, was this penalized?
I don't
No,
see why
it's
that
both
would
drivers
It's a
be.
went
racing
out.
incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's no one's real
And
fault
it's-
there.
There's nothing you can do. Like, it was just an unfortunate disaster.
Yeah, unfortunate series of events right there.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Kevin Magnussen, F1 debut, first and only podium.
That's just sad. I'm gonna be so real. That's so sad.
Yep, that's the life of an F1 driver right there.
It's just so unfortunate. Someone said earlier, was like, it only went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It was just so unfortunate.
did.
Yeah,
He was asked about this earlier because it's been a decade.
Yeah.
Makes
it even
It's
worse.
been your
Makes it
10-year
worse.
anniversary of your one and only
anniversary
podium. How's it
podium
feel?
Yeah, he was talking a lot about how it's like the hybrid engines and everything. So
Yeah. And also, this is pre-beard.
This is
Check that
weird.
out.
He is now, I don't even know how old, with a daughter, which is very cute.
He's got a mortgage, he's got kids.
mortgage.
you know?
I love Kevin Magnussen. You said you don't like Haas, but I like
No,
Kevin
I
Magnussen.
don't like either of them. I don't like Nico Hulkenberg. I don't like him. I just don't like their vibes, and they're off.
Wow, you're just a Haas hater.
I am a Haas
Well,
He's a
hater.
Haas lover, so you
Yeah, no, I've always been a fan. I was cheering
No.
like 2018. Max Verstappen was chasing Kevin Magnussen, and just Max Verstappen spun.
Yeah.
K-Mag was way too
Just
fast.
too good.
See, that is
Just too
that
good.
is the only situation possible that I would enjoy a Haas is
Yeah.
if they took Max out.
I will say, I feel like Haas,
That's
to your
really
point,
sad. I don't agree with that.
is like these super villains of F1. I feel like, to your point, I mean,
Well,
I don't
they
have...
were-
Very
they
slow
were in Jeddah.
super.
Yes,
No,
yes.
can we talk about Ollie Behrman in the last race? He was like, "Oh my God, this Haas is so slow." And then in that interview, Nico Hulkenberg walked behind him and was like, "Oh," because he was literally just talking about how. Anyways,
Sorry you drive for Haas. You
Yeah.
just...
Sorry you drive for Haas. That's
Yeah.
so unfortunate.
It's Haas. What are you going to do?
I wish he was at a better team because I feel like he's genuinely, like we saw in Jeddah, he's genuinely a good driver.
Yeah. Well, what do you
He's-
think his ceiling is?
His ceiling?
Yeah.
This.
Well, okay. I'm just saying, like, if he was like a better team, like, I don't know, like a McLaren or like even like a Red Bull, like, what do you think his ceiling is? One podium and that's it?
Well, he was
Maybe
in a
not
McLaren.
one podium, but a
No,
podium.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, he stayed in McLaren.
Well, you did predict that McLaren were going to win Constructors' Championship this year.
Yeah,
So.
well, yeah.
whoa.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a series of unfortunate events right
Yeah,
there.
well.
That is a disaster of a pick. No offense.
Well, you know
They-
what? We can't all be winners, Max Verstappen.
Anyways, last lap last year, this was quite the carnage.
You could say that.
Where do you even look? That's
There's
Checo
just
goes
so much
off.
going on.
The two Alpines just
They just have
Disappeared.
they have a little play date and then
Playdate's great.
uh,
This is my favorite
burst.
thing. Their reaction is so pure. It's just like,
Yeah.
guys, you're idiots. Like, what did you do?
Didn't only like 13 cars finish this
It may have been
race?
even less than that, honestly.
I mean, this is just a classic situation of everyone trying to go through it. There's not enough space.
Well,
no.
so Sainz hits Alonso. These two just
I'm telling you.
unfortunately tapped. I don't think
Discussing
Gasly
dinner
knew,
plans, and
Gasly
then
didn't
next
know
thing you
Ocon
know,
was there.
Okay, that's another reason why I hate Ocon. Anyways,
You just be doing all
solid.
kinds of
I'm
things.
bad. Anyways, Perez goes off. It was just so unfortunate. Sainz picked up a penalty for this. I don't know if you guys remember. It was very unfortunate. He was crying in the cockpit.
oh, this is
Oh.
the
Because
one.
he was like,
he was
no,
like, no,
please
no,
let
no.
me let me explain myself because
Yeah.
and looking back, I don't know that it's not unjust, but it was a little harsh given that the 5 seconds that he was given dropped him to last in
Yeah.
the 13 cars
It's a little
that finished
much.
because
It's
they
a little
just
much.
Hey, at
all
least
were
he's
finished at
13.
the end, so.
It's
13th
like they penalized outcome, not the intention.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which we don't see that often, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think FIA just needs to learn intention. I mean,
FIA needs to learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
Based on that, can we talk about Kevin Magnussen 20 seconds in penalty to the last race?
That
For
was
like,
crazy.
oh, he went out of track limits 10 seconds.
yep.
What was the reason?
They up those penalties. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're-
They dished him out.
There's a little bit too much, but they also allowed him to be like, you know what? I don't care anymore.
That's
I'm
fair.
just going to defend for my life behind here so
Yeah.
that my teammate can pit and still come out ahead and got Haas those crucial points that are going to put them
Those midfield points, baby.
Top of
They
the
don't
midfield.
come
He's
off.
And they
seven
get
right
like
now.
1 point.
Something like
the fact
that,
that
yeah.
P7 is 1 point is kind of crazy. And I think who was talking about this? Karun was like, the bottom half of the grid saving grace is Lance Stroll. If Lance Stroll doesn't finish the race,
It's true. It's
they
true.
get points. Because that's basically, I mean, you can count on Max to finish.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the time you can count on Charles to finish, barring mechanical failure. You can count on the Mercedes usually don't have any big tech issues,
No.
so they're finishing, the McLarens. So it doesn't leave much room. Fernando
Yeah.
Alonso is also extremely consistent, so...
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on. Like I mentioned, Australia is coming up. First practice session is in like 3 hours. I think it's like
Woo, woo.
9:30 Eastern time. We're going to give our podium predictions. I think we're starting with Steven.
Okie dokie.
And we also have our F1 fantasy teams.
Yes,
so-
we do indeed. Ignore that Carlos Sainz isn't active. He'll be back this week. Don't worry about it. But no, I mean, so just looking at it, I seem to have the most difference here. I have Charles Leclerc. I have Max Verstappen winning the race, obviously. I have Charles Leclerc in second. Now, interestingly enough, I have an Aussie winning this, and that is no other than Oscar Piastri coming in third. I believe that the Aussie will come out top 3. I think this will be his breakout race. I think the way he's been racing, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's definitely been outperforming Lando, I feel like. And I feel like this could definitely be a
hot
race.
take.
Yeah, but I mean, like, consistently, especially this year, I mean, I think both races he's finished ahead of Lando.
How's he? I haven't checked I don't
Yeah.
remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, and
I think it is interesting how much McLaren you have on your thing. That's a lot of betting on that. Also, the fact that you have Pierre Gasly is very concerning.
that's not accurate. I do not have
Do you
Pierre
have
Gasly
you
anymore.
switched to Ocon?
Yep, I have Ocon
That's
now.
more
That
concerning.
doesn't
That's
make it
even-
any
that
better.
doesn't make it any better.
Even worse.
Hey, you know what though?
Did you have Carlos Sainz last week?
I may have. I forgot about it.
So
Well, doesn't Bierman fill in then for the
No,
points?
No,
I was. It was
They,
unfortunately
they
inactive.
just
not.
give him 0 points?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, it's a little rough out here.
here's a little story for you.
Once upon a
I
time.
knew I was in Jeddah, right? And so I knew that Carlos Sainz was inactive. Well, everybody knew, but I knew he was inactive, and so I was like, I'm gonna take him off my fantasy team. And I waited until qualifying started, and then texted the boys like, hey, anybody take Carlos Sainz off their fantasy team? And kind of screwed them because we have a little competition going.
Something like that.
I apologize, but it is
Yep.
what it is.
Racing's racing.
I think you're next.
So, same thing. This is Max Verstappen winning the Australian Grand Prix. Obviously, he's going to win with Leclerc in second and Sainz in third because Ferrari are amazing at strategy.
Naturally.
Notice I don't have
Naturally.
I don't have any Alpine on here because they're horrible. I have Haas there because
They scored
they're
a
in
point.
7th right now. Yeah, they're going pretty good. I have honorary Australian Bottas in there. Lance Stroll because as long as he doesn't
gonna
crash,
say.
the Aston Martin is fast enough. Hey, like, what, 3-time podium finisher, 1-time pole?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lance Stroll isn't that bad.
He's
And
not
then we
that
also
bad,
have
no.
Alex Albon, Leclerc, and of course Verstappen. I put my multiplier this week on Verstappen. So we will
That's
see
a
how it
solid
goes.
team, and he is leading our F1 fantasy. Unfortunately, it's
What?
really unfortunate.
That is.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, no,
you
follow
know
the
F1 is. I'm not going to use the word boring.
Oh.
You know F1 is consistent when like everyone is taking Max as their winner.
I
would be
mean,
dumb not
we,
to.
we, we
How
shouldn't
do you
even
bet
have to
against
say
him?
that anymore. Just talk
We
about
just said
second
9 in
place.
a
yeah,
row.
can we just like remove
Yeah.
Max Verstappen actually?
Yeah.
Just
I saw a
I
video
don't know
once.
who
It
that
was
is.
like, yeah, you know, we started watching the F1 races. We just talk about the guys second place and down.
second is the new first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
So
don't
Leclerc's
consider that
winning
boring.
next week. then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy for you to say, though. I mean,
Interesting.
as a Patriots fan, I very much know how that feels. So, looking at it the other way around, it's like,
You have Kenny Pickett now, right?
no, not Kenny
Where
Pickett.
did he go? I
He went
forget.
to Eagles.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right, well, Riley, your turn. You got.
Surprise! I also picked Max Verstappen, but I don't know. I love my team.
Your
Full of-
team is really good.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
you have
love-
$3 million. Why don't you just get rid of Lance Stroll and get somebody
You know,
else?
I was trying to do that, but I was like, no, because I don't want a stake. I don't want an Alpine on there. I don't want
Very fair.
anybody else, and couldn't pay for anybody else. But Danny Ricciardo's like the personality hire right now. He's there for good vibes, not to do well.
Yeah.
That's so
Sometimes.
sad for me because going
I
into this
love
season,
him.
everybody was like, okay, this is his season to prove himself, and then he's going back to Red Bull. And I
Yeah.
love Danny Ricciardo. He is
Yeah,
everybody's favorite.
But I think he
So does
peaked.
Christian Horner.
that is very true, but
Mm-hmm.
Christian Horner is very close to being out of Red Bull at the moment, so I don't think he is going to be making any big
So
calls.
then Max
anytime
Verstappen's
soon.
out the door then.
We can talk about that in just a second, but first, my F1, my Australian GP prediction, what a shock. We got Max again.
Wait, who is that?
Oh, yeah.
I
think it's
don't. I've
Max
never seen
Verstappen.
that man before,
No.
actually.
No, I have no idea who that is.
You haven't seen him on the last, I think it's 19 out of 20 podiums.
Yeah, no, I've
Can't
never seen
recall.
him. I
19 out
don't
of
know who
20
that
in
is.
first
No.
steps.
Where
You know
was he
that?
in Singapore?
Fourth. Fourth or fifth? Fourth.
Oh, that's why. I only talk about the top three. I'm sorry.
Obviously.
Okay.
We don't talk about it. Anyways, I have Max also on my doubles. I'm banking on Ferrari. I have the RBs. Like you said, Danny Ricciardo's there for vibes, but he's not. At least he's not scoring negative points at the moment.
No, that's always a plus.
Charles Leclerc, if he doesn't get hit and he doesn't have a failure of any kind, he's consistent. Alex, consistently best of the rest. And Nico Hülkenberg got points, so I switched him out for whoever I had. I believe it was an Alpine.
Ah,
So, but yeah, I have Max winning, and then I have Leclerc P2 and a Hamilton P3 because Hamilton is consistently good at Australia.
yeah.
And like we saw with the disaster of 2023 last lap, anything can happen in Australia. So I'm really feeling like this is our
This is
This
your
is your
year.
year.
this is his moment to take his
Yeah.
podium. Before we kind of wrap up, I want to know, we've been talking a lot about Max. Any chance he actually goes to Mercedes? Because as Steven so kindly showed me this morning, former F1 driver has said that it's very, very close to a deal between him and Mercedes. Do you think it's even possible?
Good question. I don't think I could imagine Max in a Mercedes like race suit,
Yeah.
but who knows?
I can
It's up
see
to
it.
God now.
I can see it.
You can see it?
Yeah. I can
Stranger
see it.
things has happened. We saw Lewis go, and also
Exactly.
the driver
That
that,
is true.
reported that was Ralph Schumacher, right?
Yep, that was Ralph
Ralph
Schumacher,
is like, he is big on the gossip. So I'm taking that with a
Big
grain of
gossip
salt.
guy.
Well, you like the quote, the tweet that I saw this morning that was F1 is just Gossip Girl on wheels now? Because it
That's
has
Ralph
You know,
really-
that
Schumacher.
makes sense because I love Gossip Girl, so it makes sense I made the transition to F1.
It makes a lot of sense. Well, don't forget to tune in next week. We have more shows. I'm sure they'll be talking March Madness and
NFL draft.
NFL draft,
Yep.
anything of that sort. Unfortunately,
Anything
that's all
but
the time we
Max
have for
Verstappen.
today. But thank you guys so much for watching.